from Huntington and Charleston, the first Huntington National. Today's developments in the region, throughout the nation, and around the world. Your reporter, Nick Basso.
Good evening. The answer to Huntington's quandary over financing an $11 million sanitary sewer project is expected to come out of tonight's council meeting. The West Virginia Water Commission said today it had been informed by the Huntington Sanitary Board that the commission would be advised on the matter Thursday. Council for the past several days have been studying alternate plans of financing at least the first part of the project. A group of Huntington citizens are meeting tonight to discuss the formation of a Cabell County chapter of Consumers Incorporated. The group is forming specifically to join the Kanawha County chapter opposing temporary rate increases granted to the United Fuel Gas Company. The meeting will be held at the Ferguson Plumbing Shop on Madison Avenue. This afternoon, the president of the Huntington District Labor Council, Andy Camp, told WSAZ the council would oppose an increase in gas rates. Camp claims to represent some 2,000 households with members in 39 affiliated locals with the AFL-CIO. This is what Camp had to say.
We, the people of the Huntington District Labor Council, numbering roughly 20,000 persons, wish to go on record as being unalteredly opposed to the increase in the gas rates. I do wish to talk about something of which I know nothing about, but at this time I have my own gas bills to prove for what I'm saying. I figured up my total bills for the last 8 months of 1956 and the first month of 1957. They reach a total of $28.95. Also, the bills for the last 8 months of 57 and the first month of 58 reach a total of $58.56, making an increase of $29.61 on a bill which was previously $28.95. To cite you one instance, here is a bill for January of 1957 in an amount of $7.95. The bill for January 1958 is $19.11. Now, this isn't a case of just one bill reaching that figure. It's a case of everybody having an increase comparable on their gas bill to what mine has been. And as an organization representative of the people of the laboring class, we wish to go on record as being opposed to this measure.
In Charleston, the home office of the United Fuel Gas Company, Bob Horan interviewed some individual gas customers on the downtown street.
What is your name, sir? Charles Hopkins. How has the recent rate increase of the gas company affected you?
Well, frankly, Bob, the gas bill this month was slightly higher than usual. But on the other hand, I anticipated it and expected it because most prices are higher on everything nowadays. Actually, Bob, I feel that the gas company has rising costs to meet just like any other business, and I certainly do not feel that they particularly like to raise prices any more than anyone else who's in business.
What is your name?
Well,
Mr. Gall, how do you feel about the rate increases?
I don't like it, sir, not a bit. I think it's rather high and all of a sudden.
What is your name, ma'am?
This is Lester Walker.
What is your reaction to your gas bill?
Well, I didn't like it. It was quite an increase from last month, and I only heating up half of the house trying to save on it. Now, last month it was 13, and this month it was 19.
The chairman of the Public Service Commission indicated today he would welcome utility customers to band together in protesting rate increases. However, Myron Rennick says he doesn't mean gas bills. Rennick said, "We know what the gas bills are. We're interested in evidence that the company doesn't need the increase if they have that evidence." Rennick said utility customers should join to hire professional help to gather evidence for the commission to weigh in rate cases. The commissioner said the PSC doesn't resent protests. It's glad to receive them. However, he added, what we're more concerned with is proper evidence submitted at hearings that would be helpful to the commission in arriving at a decision. Rennick also took a swipe at the Senate Finance Committee of the recent legislature. He said he had information that Democrats on the committee killed a bill in a party line vote which would have given the Commission additional funds to hire more professional help. The measure had previously passed the House of Delegates. The chairman of the Senate Finance Committee said this afternoon the group chose to await completion of a legislative study of the Public Service Commission before considering a bigger budget for it. That was the reason, Senator Jackson said, why the committee did not send to the floor a bill to increase funds available to the PSC from $300,000 to $450,000 a year. Governor Underwood today signed into law a bill permitting Marshall College to finish a health and physical education building. The measure authorizes issuance of an additional $400,000 of revenue bonds towards financing the structure. The State Board of Education earlier issued up to $950,000 worth of bonds, but it was found that that was not sufficient to complete the building. The governor also signed an act extending the state's soft drink tax to certain powders and syrups. It will bring in about $600,000 a year for construction of the State Medical Center. Nick will have another interview with a guest minister of the Tri-State Preaching Mission after this message from the First Huntington National Bank.
Let's go now to the lower level of the First Huntington National Bank, where its vaults are located. This is the door and a part of the interior of the safekeeping section where the rental lock boxes are located. For as little as $3 a year, stocks, bonds, deeds, insurance policies, and irreplaceable documents can be stored here. Each box can be opened only with the box renter's key and the bank master key used simultaneously. This vault is one of several sections, all built with massive doors and steel and concrete walls. They're impregnable to fire or theft and have the further protection of unusual time locks, all connected with public and police alarm signals. In addition, insurance against loss is carried for the protection of the bank and the customer, and every possible precaution is taken by trained personnel to provide security and privacy. Other bank vaults are used for storing the cash, assets, and invaluable records of the bank. These vaults have untold thousands of dollars of cash and securities, providing protection and peace of mind to those who are served by the First Huntington National Bank.
Tonight, the third night of the Tri-State Preaching Mission. The big effort by some 175 churches of the Tri-State community in the cities of Huntington, Ashland, Ironton, Portsmouth, Point Pleasant, and Logan. We invite you to attend one of the services. We're very pleased to have with us Dr. Paul Harden, pastor of the First Methodist Church of Birmingham, Alabama, who will be addressing the group in the Keith Albee Theater, Huntington, tonight. Dr. Harden, I understand you're quite familiar with this television business.
Yes, we do know something about it. We have a program down in Birmingham each Sunday afternoon, which is sponsored, I might add, which we appreciate very much. It's a program entitled What's Your Problem? And people write in to us from all over the state wanting us to solve their problems. The panel has had some dillies to deal with lately. For instance, how much allowance shall a teenage schoolboy have? And then one problem we had last week, I think we'll have to pass up. Some husband wanted to know how he could dissuade his wife from buying one of these new sack-style dresses. We don't feel quite competent to answer that one.
Well, I wonder if problems of that nature are also broached in preaching missions such as the Tri-State Mission.
No, I hardly think we'd deal with anything quite like that.
But on the whole, you do cover a multitude of problems of humanity in these
Yes,
missions.
we do, and I want to commend this community for what it does with this Tri-State Mission. I have been in other missions. I have never been here before, and I think that this is one of the best.
Thank you very much, Dr. Harden. We'll be looking forward to the opportunity of listening to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Paul Harden, pastor of the First Methodist Church, Birmingham, Alabama. Another step toward providing for rescue and personal treatment in case of disaster or national emergency will be taken Saturday with the start of a civilian defense class in rescue and first aid in Huntington. The instructor for the course is William Brooke of Huntington.
This is one of the many courses which your civil defense will conduct in the community during the ensuing months. This course deals with rescue techniques, and we are starting our first course in the basement of the courthouse on Saturday morning. The class will meet from 9:30 to 12:30 each Saturday for about 10 weeks, and they will learn, in addition to first aid and survival techniques, the techniques of rescue which will be needed in the community in the event of an emergency. This course is open to all interested youth, junior high school age or above, and any interested adults. There will be other courses conducted in the community when the demand and the space permit.
Kentucky Governor Chandler told a legislative hearing today that officials of the Keeneland racetrack are prepared to accept a proposed 4% tax on parimutuel betting, the same amount imposed on other Kentucky tracks. Chandler, however, told the legislators to consider that such a tax might result in closing of the nonprofit Lexington track. Charleston Mayor John Copenhaver may be getting his wish to have all copies of the bestseller Peyton Place removed from the city. Several bookstores say the books are going like hotcakes. Bob?
A check of 3 stores which sell the books show 159 books were sold today alone. One bookstall operator said he understands that 2 weeks ago, publishers were behind 500,000 orders. Mayor Copenhaver repeated today he will object to any further city allocations to the Kanawha County Public Library because of its continued circulation of what he calls immoral literature. The mayor says he has not read Peyton Place, but that people he has faith in have given him 2 or 3 quotations from the novel. Copenhaver said, "We sent $45,000 last year and this year to the library. Just think what we could have done with that money." He added, "It is better to have no library at all than one filled with works of the devil." Asked if he plans to investigate any other books, the mayor said, "If these things come to my knowledge, I'm going to act in a reasonable way, as I've always done." The librarian, Nicholas Winowich, said the library has taken its stand. He was quoted as saying, "It's a common, ordinary type of book that wouldn't get anywhere without all the fuss and furor raised over it. I see nothing obscene in the book." Concerning censoring of films, the mayor has received criticism from a Cincinnati attorney. He said he received a copy of a letter Jerome Goldman sent City Solicitor Elmer Dodson. The letter claimed the mayor violated the United States Constitution in his recent action toward movies he claimed showed obscene films. He also threatened legal action. Copenhaver said, "It's a foolish threat. The threat shall go unheeded. I plan to pursue the policy I adopted when I became mayor." Efforts are being made to effect a contract settlement at an Ohio Valley electric generating plant. Nick?
Officials of the Tiger Creek Power Facility at Cheshire, Ohio, and Utility Workers Union representatives are meeting today with federal mediator George Bell to discuss the contract. Union negotiators are seeking to secure an initial contract for some 187 workers. Damage in the fire that destroyed the Frishy Big Boy in Ironton, Ohio yesterday is estimated at $150,000. Observers said the fire probably began in the wiring of the newly remodeled building. 16 firemen battled the fast-moving blaze in 15-degree temperatures. Fire Captain William Sanders suffered slight facial burns. No other injuries were reported, however. 2 fire companies battled the flames over 3 hours. The building was declared an almost complete loss. The owners, Andy and Richard Kazee, say they'll start rebuilding in the near future. Huntington Tri-State Airport Authority this afternoon elected Huntington Mayor Harold Frankel, its president, to succeed Frank Heiner. Other officers included Walker Long as vice president, Henry Stark of Cerrito as treasurer, Tri-State Airport manager Pete Capodoni was elected secretary, and Clifford Hatton of Canova was elected to the new office of assistant secretary. McDowell County, West Virginia school officials have estimated damage in last night's fire at the Welch Elementary School at $235,000. That's the news until now. Look in on George Lewis reporting tonight at 11.
The news picture has been compiled and edited through the facilities of the WSAZ TV News Department and presented by the First Huntington National Bank. News film produced by WSAZ Television.